Hey, there we go.
Boom, there we are. And we're live.
Let's go.
Woo-hoo! Welcome to another edition of After the Cook. You got me, Mel, my man Chris Shem, and guess who's on today? Eric Gryba. There you go. We are so pumped to have you, man. Thank you very much for being here. I cannot wait to do this. Million things I want to talk to you about.
Well, I got a million hours, so let's do it.
That's it. Awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun show. You've had quite the experiences that we can talk about. You know, I think Mel likes to talk about. I don't know. You have a sports team that's in Edmonton, or
I do like the Oilers, and we cheered for Grybes for quite a while. Yeah. Grybes was the name that we would yell out quite a bit. So I'm an angry hockey fan. You know, like right? That's at the BP's, right? With the schooner that's just sloshing. That's the way it goes, right? And I have to do a quick shout out to the boys, right? The World Juniors. Buddy, Canada's just walking on them. I'm so proud.
Here we go, boys. Let's go.
That's it. Oh, I'm so happy. So happy.
Yeah, I'm glad we got the young kids playing here. It's good for them.
Oh, man. I'm just loving it. Absolutely loving it.
Oh. So, when do you start playing hockey in Canada? Like, is this like I don't know, I learned to walk and then I learned to skate?
Yeah, pretty damn much. And from what I've been told, I don't have much recollection of it, but what I've been told was, like, I started skating when probably I was about 2, I think, is when I learned to skate. So I probably learned to walk at 1. So it gave me a year and I learned to skate. And then, next thing you know, you just keep learning, keep falling on your face, and there you go.
Well, that just trains you for everything else with hockey then too. You know, falling on your face, getting hit in the face, it's all the same, right?
Yeah, get punched in the face, fall on your face. Yeah, it's pretty much all it comes down to.
Right on.
Yeah. So
I always think back, like I spend a lot of time Waldman Lake out in Alberta here, right? Mm-hmm. And you'd see toddlers, just tiny little guys, and they've got the little plastic stool, right? And like I don't even know if they could walk yet, but they got skates on, right? It's, you know, and it's just that's it. Like, and the dads are all out there go-getters. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know, it's crazy. And so, like, I have a daughter. She's 2 years old right now. And we took her skating for the nightmare. My back still hurts from it. Oh shit! We got you guys still?
Yep.
Yeah. No, honestly, my back still hurts. Like, it's crazy. Like the fact that like you're constantly just like bending over, and I'm like, oh my god, my dad did this for me. I'm like, if this is my dad, I'm like, dude, find another sport. How's soccer? Learn you can run. Like, you can run on your own. You need to skate. It's ridiculous.
I love it, man.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, man. It's cool to be a Canadian playing hockey, and yeah, it's good shit.
That's awesome. Well, obviously, hockey's a big thing. We got a lot of viewers here that are big on hockey too. But what else do you have going on right now? You've got a little bit of a different avenue that you're also exploring and really kind of getting into.
I got a lot of different things going on. But one of the things been going on, I got my hunting grilling TV show that's on Wild TV, but also on Amazon Prime in the U.S. and the Pursuit Channel in the U.S. too. And so it's grilling. It's called Grilling with Gryba, and it's a show that basically I hunt stuff kind of within Saskatchewan, or I've been down in Texas and kind of throughout Western Canada and different places throughout North America. And then whatever I hunt or harvest, I show a cool way to prepare it. Mm-hmm. And it's basically whatever we hunt, we're gonna grill, and we're gonna find a cool way to do it and make it taste good, because there's been too many people that have kind of, I don't know, put their nose up to wild game, and to me that's bullshit, because wild game's some of the best protein you can have possibly ever have on this world. So, anyway, so yeah, that's kind of the premise of the show, and I love kind of sharing that that side of things, because I feel there's a disconnect with people who just, you go buy your shit from the store. Cool, that's awesome, but you know what? That thing had to die somehow. It wasn't suicidal. So I like to, for me, I'm like, hey, I kind of want to know where my meat comes from.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like I do buy stuff from the store, but as much as I can, we use as much wild game and stuff that we know where it came from.
And the nice thing is not only do you know where it comes from, but it's also not like you're out there just killing for sport. And that's another thing that people will say, hey, there's people out there that are just killing just to, go hunting. Whereas what you're showing is you can have that aspect of it, but then also have that connection to your food when you don't waste what you harvest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there's just having that connection to the protein that you've been there from every moment of its, like, from seeing it living to seeing it dying and then actually processing it and being there from every step of the way, from whether it ends up as steaks, ends up as ground into sausage, or ground in burgers, ground in goddamn meatballs. Like, they're just be able to know, it's like, oh, I know what happened to that animal. I was there. Like, oh, we took those shanks, we cut them up, and we're gonna make an osso buco. Like, man, I know, I know how that happened. There's no, and for me, I mean, I take pride in that, and I take comfort in knowing where that food comes from.
A big thing for me that I love to see is when people like yourself that are in the spotlight bring home how it's kind of part of, like, life. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a very normal thing to make spaghetti and meatballs, and it's 3/4 deer. Like, this is just, it comes out, it goes on a plate, and it's on the table for everybody. A lot of people think like a moose roast or something like that is going to be like a special event, or, you're out of everything else. But for most people up here that are living with hunters or hunters, that's like your main source of food. And then, like, steaks are the special day, right?
Right. Oh, 100%. It's like, even like we went out for dinner tonight for my sister's birthday. I was like, oh my God, I would love just like a fat ribeye. It's like, I've been eating too much moose and mule deer lately. Like, oh, what ribeye.
No, that's the thing, right? Like, my wife, it was such a huge eye opener for her watching a few hunting shows, right? She wakes up and I'm sitting there. I've been there for a couple hours now, right? She's like, what are you watching? And she's, you see someone in their garage prepping a deer, and she chuckles because all my boys are all welders, right? That's hunting season. Everybody does the exact same thing. Everyone's truck is out front because their garage is full of meat, and that's what everyone's prepping. Everyone's hanging. Everyone's right.
And that's cool. Just go through that process, and I think you kind of touched on it earlier. Like, we're not just like blood hungry. Like, hunters aren't just like bloodthirsty killers. No. Dude, I don't like enjoying watching a deer or an elk or a moose or something like die. I don't like watching animals die. That's horrible. Honestly, it's not a fun experience to watch an actual animal lose its life. No. But I truly enjoy the protein. I love the process. I love knowing where my protein comes from. And you know what? I realized the fact that my family and I like to eat protein. So something at that point, something needs to die for that to happen. And I'd prefer to be there and, preferably be at the end of the gun, at the beginning of the gun for that. So I know what happened. So, I mean, I don't like watching them die, but I like what happened after, to be honest. I'm not this bloodthirsty fucking savage. I just like, I
love hearing Ted Nugent stand on that. He's like, well, God put it right in front of you, right? God put it pretty much on your plate. So that was the sacrifice there, right?
Yeah.
God put this guy's pork loin in the Costco basket, and God put this deer in front of you. So
it's not my problem.
It's a neat way to look at it, right? So
I know. Yeah, we're speaking of Ted Nugent. He's on my Ted Nugent Fred Bear. It's one of the best songs for me. The bow hunting song. I have it on my running playlist. I'm like crushing times whenever I have Fred Bear on.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
And the other thing too, especially with a lot of the wild game, is not only are you providing the protein, but you're providing more of that healthier, leaner protein. Because a lot of the game that I've seen on your Instagram, like it's a picture of you holding up an elk loin, which is just a beautiful hunk of.
Oh, that one was moose, but yeah, I know moose. Yeah, moose. That's
Wow.
moose. The wife shot that moose. But like, yeah, man, like you can't. It's crazy. You almost can't find enough fat on those animals. It's hard. So like that's why I'm starting to like utilize like the caul fat from like these animals, like where like because there's really no fat anywhere else. Like it's crazy how lean they are. They're just like strictly pure like protein. It's cool. Yeah. So it's
watching, Alone. So it was a series that was based up in Canada, and there was somebody, they're out in the wild and they have to survive. Someone got a moose, and his problem was not that he didn't have enough protein, but he didn't have enough fat.
So I saw that episode. And I heard a podcast on him talking. He said he's like, honestly, you nailed it. He's like, I don't have a shortage of food. I have a shortage of fat because I cannot. All my body is craving is like fat, and I can't. Like I just can't get enough of it. There's no like my body just it's like maxed out on protein. It needs fats to burn.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I have to say that show alone, where they situate them on the island out there.
Right.
I have a lot of family out on Vancouver Island, and we fished like those specific inlets. Okay. And me and the wife were sitting there watching it, and I'm like, holy shit, I've been literally where that chick is like dying on that rock, eating those limpets, right? And I'm like, I've literally like coasted right through there. I'm like, that's crazy. Like I go on the old Facebook albums, I'm pulling it up, and she's like, I believe you. You don't have to show me. I'm like, no, I need to see it now. Like that's crazy out there, man. And to know that there's that much fish, like 100 feet out from where they are, they just can't get to it. I was like,
wild.
Oh man, like that, because that was the thing, right? On the boat, as soon as you see an otter, your crab traps are done, right? So it's you're trying to catch in between them, right? It's just so cool to think that they could be doing that stuff out there. I love it.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And I feel bad. So like some of those like episodes of Watching Alone, I feel like shitty for some of them because I'm like, man, like they got put in a really bad spot. Because honestly, if I'm there without a gun and without like actual protection, I have bears like messing with my tent. I'm like, dude, I'm out. I mean, I've seen enough bears in my life, and like, I'm not fighting a bear. Yeah. I'm not doing this. I'm not some tough guy. Like, get the hell out of here. Like, freaking, this is ridiculous.
Oh, out there, my Auntie June was a little tiny blonde lady, right? But she was fierce. Yeah. She used to feed the loggers up there. And when she'd have to walk through the bush, she'd take a revolver with her.
Right.
Like, no joke. Like, and this is just walking from cabin to whatever. And she's like, no, the cats are there. You can't see them. But they've been waiting all day for this trip now, right? So.
Yeah, you're talking about cats. It's a whole different issue, man. Honestly, I'd rather fight a bear over a freaking cougar any day of the goddamn week. Those things terrify the goddamn hell out of me.
Yeah. No, there was a freshwater lake, and we were walking like a kilometer back through the bush. There's just a tiny little line, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden she stopped. She's like, you hear that? It's probably been there for like 20 minutes, and we haven't even noticed. And it's just like in the bush, like with us the entire walk. And she's like, okay, hold on.
And that's the terrifying part, because I'm like, I've like spent enough time in the bush and enough time in different places which have cougars or big cats, and I'm like, and I've never seen one, but I'm like, how many have seen me? I'm like, that kind of terrifies me, because those son of bitches are up in trees. I guarantee I've walked under freaking 15 trees that have like had cats sitting in it. We were like, they like looked at me like, not today. And like, Chris been like one cat, and I'm like, you know what? I could take them. The next thing you know, I'm freaking done. But
from 30 yards away, right? Like,
have you seen what a house cat can do? They can jump like freaking 10 feet in the air. Imagine a goddamn 150-pound cat. Yeah. Fuck that shit. I'm out.
No, that's it. Yeah. Oh,
Well, Mel, I could probably, start talking about the hunting and the food for about the next 2 hours. But
I know.
you somebody that maybe wants to switch things up and talk about the ice a little bit?
We sure could. Should I bring Louie in sometime soon here or what?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You get right on. Everybody, we got Louie. He's coming in live from Rogers Place. He's at the arena right now doing the World Juniors. And this is my guy. This is Louie, he's my editor. He's my partner in crime with all my YouTube and stuff like that. We've been doing this since I was like 18. So it's all the horror stories started with him, which is fantastic.
That's true.
Yeah.
All those hold my beer and watch this stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So how's it going out there, buddy?
Great.
Is it loud?
No, there's no one here.
Exactly. I couldn't even imagine what
There's
that's
less
like.
people here than the NHL bubble in the summer.
Yeah.
Like, way less.
Shitty.
What I saw when Brett Kissel did his anthem, right?
Yeah, first Canada game.
Yeah, and he was like, "There's nothing like it. Just totally weird, right?"
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine.
Tape that in an empty arena. It was pretty weird.
Yeah.
Wow,
Just-
that's brutal.
Yeah.
And that building can rock too, right? Like that building can get going.
Absolutely.
And I could imagine without pre all this COVID stuff, or say this COVID stuff when it happened, the fact that the World Jays are in Edmonton right now, would be absolutely bumping.
Oh,
Oh man, it would
Bumping.
be insane.
oh,
Oh
Yeah,
man,
this was-
that's like the heart of realistically.
There's
That's like the
actually,
heart of hockey country, right? Like,
it's man. When they first built it, when I first went to my first game and I'm walking up to it, I'm like, this is like the fucking Death Star. They've built us the Death Star for hockey. Like, I could care less about concerts or anything. I'm like, the Oilers are winning every Stanley Cup for the foreseeable future right now. That's yeah. There's nothing flammable in the place, so we can't burn it down. Like that's it. Like it's gonna. Oh.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's a cool freaking building. Louis, have you gone through the locker room yet?
Oh yeah, I've been everywhere.
Dude, is that not the most insane locker room you've ever been in?
It is absolutely insane.
The fact that, I've never seen the fact there's a 2-story gym.
Yeah, and it's half the length of the building from our control room for production to basically the loading dock is all Oilers dressing room.
Oh, it's insane! I know. It's crazy. Yeah, it's cool. And honestly, when I first, so my first time going in there, so I played there for the year. I played for a year in Rexall. My first year was Edmonton, and then the next year was in that building. I mean, it took me probably, I'm not lying, 2 weeks, probably figure out how the hell to get around the goddamn locker room.
Oh, for sure, man.
Because honestly, you get lost.
Yep.
You get lost. You think you're like, you come out of the locker, you come out of the change room. I'm like, okay, I need to find the medical room. I'm like, oh God, where the hell is this? And now next thing you walk into the steam room, I'm like, oh God, this is not where I'm supposed to be. And I'm like, next thing
But I'm gonna go for a dip though.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to find I still need to find the trainers. Oh God, next time I'm in the goddamn hot tub room. What the hell? Like, what's going on? Yeah, no, it's wild. It's a cool, man. It's a cool room, and it's that whole building's a good thing for that city.
It really was, yeah. For sure.
And it is, man. I'm telling you, it's.
Yeah, I guess it's not over.
Yeah. They haven't burnt the building down yet.
Yeah, we got 40 years to go.
Yeah. So, all right, boys. What else we got on the topics?
I want to know about that grill that you're using all the time on your Instagram. Tell me about that.
The Birch Grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a huge fan of it. And I mean, obviously, you can tell I've been a huge fan of it. I don't know how to kind of explain it. So when I first opened up the box, so I talked to the owner originally back in the summer. I was like, hey, I'd love to try this grill. It was looked kind of cool. And I opened up, and I'm like, and I put it together. I'm like, honestly, in my first thoughts, I'm like, this is gimmicky as shit. This is ridiculous. Literally, I thought, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm not. This is stupid. But then I started like using it, and the fact that I can put my coal pan, I could adjust all the levels from about 12, probably 16 inches down to, about 6 inches down. I could adjust my coal pan and just like levels all the way up. And then I could also take my grate, lock it into my lid, and lift that up. So you have all these different kind of elements in terms of your heat distribution. So you could like have your sear, your smoke. If things are burning, lock in your grate, lift it up by the pistol grip thing. It's on one of the legs. You lift it up, and you can lift up your food and get it away from that heat source.
Yeah.
So I'm just taking a look at your.
Yeah, so you can see it right there. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's and the fact that I can break it down and take it to we took it to moose camp this year. Like we went moose hunting, and we use it as our fire pit for the whole time. And then we wanted to cook, we just like drop the grate down, heat up the grate, let everything kind of heat up, and then throw some food on it. So it was
nice.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not. With that also being said, I mean, it's not going to hold your heat like a green egg or any other ceramic thing. You're not going to have that type of element, but I feel I've been enjoying the fact that I can just like, it's more portable than, a 350-pound green egg.
Right.
Or whatever. We're kind of over there. So like, I've been enjoying that aspect of it, because I'm rarely stationary. I'm like constantly moving, like hunt camp to, going ice fishing to doing whatever. And it's like, for that, I've enjoyed that aspect of it. But at the end of the day, I feel we're all just kind of charcoal wood kind of connoisseurs that like that aspect of cooking. And they're all just they all have their different elements. So,
the thing I like about your birch barrel grill is because, like you said, you get to move the grate, move it up and down, kind of control it that way. It kind of gets back to that whole just theme of hunting, getting where your food is from, and then you have more of that primal style of cooking it, where essentially you're just taking fire, coals, right, whether it's charcoal or wood, and you're just adding them, and it just kind of brings you back to that just stripped down beauty of cooking that, where you at moose camp, you can get your moose and then literally within hours fire it up and kind of enjoy that cook in that way. And that's just kind of another way to kind of get that connection with everything that you're doing too. And that's really cool.
And you're so right. And it's just basically whenever you're cooking with that wood or charcoal, those primitive heat sources, like it brings you back, man. It brings you back to like, holy shit, our ancestors. The reason why we're all here, because our ancestors were fucking badass hunters. Honestly, they were. Because if they weren't, our bloodlines would have died off.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I love that kind of that primitive heat sources, primitive. I love that hunting, and it just bring it all back to nature and bring it back to who we are as a civilization. Because I have nothing against vegans. I get all the thing, but honestly, like vegans, sorry, your bloodlines would have died about 1,000 years ago if your ancestors were vegans. So I'm sorry.
Right. Well, we got a guy in here right now in the chats there, Big Javi. So he's out in Texas. He built a whole steer rack to cook over live fire. And they cracked open a whole steer and cooked it over live fire in Texas.
Oh, is that big?
That's crazy.
You said Big Happy. Is it Big J? Big J?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always got the big. Yeah,
he's a big 10-gallon hat on, barbecue shit up, motherfucker. Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, man, he's amazing. I'm always bugging him about what he's building next and how he's live fire, man. Like you can't argue, right? That guy.
You can't argue him, because I love him because he's not only is he cooking like awesome shit over fire, but he's building the shit he's like cooking over. I'm always looking, I'm like, oh my God, this guy's got the best pits. He's got the best fire. He's got these like aggressive grill pits. It's unreal. So,
yeah, he's a sweetheart, man. I love
he's good shit.
He built the fire table, a whole table with the rack, so you set your bonfire up in one corner and then you shovel, and then he built this steel oven with an open bottom. So you put it over the fire to cook your briskets.
Uh-huh.
Like how crazy! Like I would never even think to do that. It was essentially like your Japanese grill where they put the lid over it to catch the heat, and now you're baking, but still over live fire. Like imagine what that brisket tasted like. That
guy's got it going on.
No, getting back to your roots, man. You said it 100%. Getting back to your roots. That's I can't cook shit over Wi-Fi. I tried. You can't do it.
I know it's honestly it's a whole different ball game. Hey, what's that barbecue show that just came on Netflix?
The Chef's Table barbecue one.
Is that the one? Who's the lady? Is it with the lady? Her name? She's at Snow's Barbecue.
Tootsie.
Tootsie. Yeah. I still remember watching that first episode of that with my wife in our bed.
No.
And we finished the episode, and I looked over her. I'm like, I am such a little bitch. Like, oh my God. She's like freaking 80-some years old, freaking, slinging coals. And
working
I'm like,
full-time as a janitor.
Yeah, full time. And she's like, this is what she does in her spare time is like, slinging epic barbecue. I'm like, dude, you suck. Can we just freaking like step up your game, please? Yeah.
I love when you see the video of her and she's running her hand across the top of the pit, and she's just feeling the cold spots through the lid that's shut. I was like, when you see that, and the photographer, that Robert guy, he knew exactly. He's been doing it for so long, so he runs that Smoke and Mash group on Facebook. He's the big bourbon, and he's like the barbecue photographer. And you can tell he knows exactly what they're doing, and he's able to catch it with video. Like it's so cool. Melts your heart, because that old lady is just like, you see her tapping on this side, and then she just starts sliding her hand across and holding it, and she's like, "Okay, I need more on this side." And then you see her turn around with the shovel. I'm like, "That's it right there." How come you're not checking your phone? How come you're not?
What, you're not getting this on Instagram?
So cool.
You got people that can do that, where this is their thermometer, and then you have people that'll have 7 different Bluetooth thermometers set up, and they're still not able to do a fraction of what she does. I think a lot of it is feel and just the experience. There's so many people that overthink cooks too. You don't know how many times we get messages about, okay, well, how am I going to do this brisket? Well, what if it does this? Exactly how long do you think it's going to take? I'm like, well, it's going to cook until it's done. And, and if I like having some of that secondary stuff and that kind of analytic information available to look at after a cook. Like after a cook, if I have a flame boss in and where you do a brisket and you just see where that stalls for a little bit, that's kind of really cool to go back and see. But I don't want to pay too much attention to that during the actual cook. I don't want to stress out about, okay, well, it's only stalling for 25 minutes or it's been stalling for an hour and a half. When is it going to get out of this stall? If you start worrying about that, it's going to drive you nuts. But when you see people like Tootsie, who's just doing it 100% off feel, and, it just goes to show you that you don't need all these bells and whistles for everything.
Yeah, it's a whole different production, right? Like she's on a whole different level. She's not, like you said, she's not relying on thermometers. It's straight feel. Like, let's cook, man. Let's just get down to the basics of it. Like, let's cook good food. Let's cook good barbecue. Like, that's hard. That doesn't just happen overnight. That happen like that's why people need thermometers, because the shit's hard. You can't just like teach that. Like you have to learn that is like hours and hours and hours, and that's a craft. That's not just happening.
Right.
So yeah, no, it's yeah. She's people like that are special, and it's so cool.
You see the episode of the guy in Australia now, that Lennox, I forget his last name.
Hassel.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen him yet.
You want to watch that episode, man?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good one.
So everything he does, he dry ages everything. He cooks it all. There's no power. He cooks everything over fire in his restaurant, and he was taught by, where was the guy in like Spain or?
He was in some mountains in Spain, and the guy who taught him got upset because he's kind of was his apprentice for a few years, and the guy who taught him actually got upset when they came and got like Michelin stars.
Yeah,
he's like, well, now everybody's going to come here and want all this stuff.
The owner got so pissed, and he's like, "Why are you freaking out? Like, we finally nailed it." He's like, "I don't want this." He's like,
two barbecue guys. Like, just give me a bourbon and just fuck off. I just want to make my food.
Exactly.
It's so good, man. Well, this is with us. We're on Team Green with the Big Green Egg, right?
Yeah.
We're constantly helping people with barbecue.
Right.
And the number one thing that we get all the time is, how long should this take? Whether it be a brisket or a turkey, like this fucking 38-pound turkey that I cooked, a million people were like,
I think it was a giant, by the way. I was I was terrified of it. I had nightmares about it, to be honest.
Right away, everyone's like, time. And I'm like, I don't care. Maybe it takes 16 hours. Maybe it takes 4. I don't care. It's all on temp. Everything is on temperature. That's
the hard part. Is I get asked the same thing all the time. It's like, well, how long should that take? I'm like, I don't know how big your piece of fucking meat is.
That's
like I don't know. I don't know whether it's a brisket or a freaking tenderloin. Like I don't know. Like, it's like, how long should I cook my beef for? I'm like, well, how hot's your grill? You know, how much smoke you laying on it? Like, how long do you let it rest? Is it cold? Is it room temperature? Like, I don't freaking know. Like, just it's hard.
For briskets, even for us, when we're trying to answer these questions, we don't know the grade. We don't know how marbled it is. Like, everything changes dramatically. I've had Snake River Farms briskets, right, where they're done at like 198 to 200, super quick, because they're all marbling, right? And the fat heats up way quicker than the protein, so it's like it's like a shot, right? And then I've got like my double A from Safeway, right? The butcher's corner, it's 14 hours now, and I'm still like, Jesus, man, what are you doing in here? Like, this is it's not probing worth shit. You're like, well, this sucks, and they were both the same size, right? How do you say? You can't. It's
Well, I know it's hard because everyone just kind of wants the quick fix, or the quick answer, the quick recipe.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's probably not going to work when you're doing like large pieces of meat, or you're doing like specialties. Actually, I think there's anything you're doing. Like, just do it the quick way. It's probably not going to be the best way.
Yeah.
So,
Louis, we got a question for you.
What was the question?
Do you get to eat any of Mel's cooks?
Every time.
Every time. That's
and they're delicious.
It's awesome because he kind of doubles as my cameraman as well as my editor, right? So when we're together, he'll shoot while we're doing the cooks and everything, and then that way I can keep a lot better track of everything. And it's awesome because then I save the best stuff for when he's here, and then we just have like a smorgasbord.
We do epic cooks for sure.
Yeah, I love it. It's because the crazy thing is we've done this for forever, but we never filmed it. It was never for anything. We just did it. Yeah, we just did it for us, right? And then all of a sudden, now we're doing it for the gram, whatever, right? But it's hilarious to think we were wrapping our scallops in bacon when we were like 18, 20. It is what it is, right? But it's
I remember cooking gourmet steaks at about 2, 3 in the morning. It's not order pizza time; it's grilling time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how it always was, right? The boys would be like, "Well, what do you got in your freezer?" Right? That's all the time. It turns out everything. So yeah.
It turns out everything. That's a good one, Dad. Oh,
Yeah, it's a good time. Good time.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So other than your cooking show, what else are you doing out there?
Oh shit! What else I got for you guys? Well, COVID's been a fucking son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Which obviously for everybody.
Yep.
I've been working on. Well, we built a new house, so we just finished a house renovation, which has been an absolute pain in my goddamn ass. And I'm looking at buying a. Oh, this is a really cool one. I've been looking at buying a courier company here in Saskatchewan, and so I started. The owner was basically nice enough to let me. He's like, "Hey, if you want to make sure you want to buy it, you want to drive. You can work in the company first." I'm like, "Okay, well, I want to start as a courier. I want to start at the bottom. Let me do it." Fuck, man, I've been driving courier routes, learning this shit, and so I've been trying to buy it. So
that's awesome.
I'm kind of in, so I'm pretty close to buying this company now, and so anyway, so I've been fucking driving courier routes, doing crazy shit. I mean, I feel like honestly, picture Jim Carrey at the start of Ace Ventura, kicking freaking UPS boxes down,
yes,
kicking shit everywhere. First days, I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm like breaking people's packages. I'm like, oh, what's it mean? No. Anyway, so I've been doing that. And then just freaking hang out with the family and grilling and cooking and hunting. Well, hunted a bunch this fall. The wife shot a moose. Dad shot a moose. I shot a mule deer. So we've been making sausage and doing all the good shit. Good stuff in life.
That's awesome.
What's your favorite game protein?
Ooh. Axis deer. So I'm gonna give you. I know this. Everyone's like, "What the fuck is that?" Anyway, Axis deer is a deer that was brought over to, I think it was Texas and Hawaii, way back in the day. But anyway, I went there I went to one of my buddy's weddings in Hawaii. He got married in the Big Island, and I was like, "Fuck!" I'm like, "Man, I'm not staying here for a week just sitting on the beach. I'm gonna go hunt some shit." So I went and flew to Molokai, hunted axis deer, and they're these big. They're full-size deer, but they're spotted, so they look like little fawns.
Okay.
Because they're all spotted, but they're full-size, and they have these elk kind of antlers on them. Anyway, went over and shot one of those, and brought it back. So I shot this deer, put it in my coolers, flew it back to where the wedding party was, went fishing that morning, caught mahi-mahi with a couple other people. And that night, I cooked up axis deer and mahi-mahi on the coast of Oahu, on the northern coast of Oahu, and for the wedding party, just have an absolute feast. And honestly, axis deer is my favorite protein to this day, by far. I would put it up against beef tenderloin any day of the week.
Is it a sweeter meat or
it's sweeter, but it breaks down, has that kind of that fatty content, but it's not it's sweet and has that fatty texture, but it's not fatty. It's super lean. It's a very peculiar meat. It's so fucking good.
Do you think it has anything to do with what it's eating out there?
Probably.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I would not. I have no idea, but I'm guessing it does.
Being in Alberta, and I hate to say this, don't flame me for it, but being in Alberta, when we eat deer here, it's like, oh, whatever, this is fantastic. And then you go out to Kelowna and you're eating deer out there, and you're like, this tastes like shit, man. This is you know what I mean?
No, for sure. Honestly, everyone come. I'm gonna agree with you that anyone or any kind of protein or any animal is gonna taste as good as what they're eating.
Yeah.
Because I've eaten bear. I've shot a bear before that has been probably eating garbage and was eating just shit.
So you
not
have
like
eaten
dump
dump
bear.
bear. That was
I've
a
eaten
question. Have
I've
you
eaten
eaten
dump
dump bear?
It tastes like shit. It doesn't. I mean, honestly, it tastes good. It will.
I was waiting for that.
you know. But then,
Yeah.
like, I've also had bear that's been eating like high quality things, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is delicious. You're a fatty piece of meat that is awesome, and I don't know, yeah.
My cousins whipped up a bunch of bear sausage, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But that was it. Like, sausage was as far as I went with it. The rest, whatever.
Yeah,
was
my father-in-law actually got a bear this year, so we had some of the sausage, and it's one of those meats that they cut a lot with pork because
Right.
it's got similar flavor profile. It's a little bit sweeter, but this bear itself is actually pretty greasy. But yeah, it was some pretty good sausage that we had made up there. Big fan of that. Actually, one of our first shows that we did on YouTube, we had somebody who we were talking about bear meat, and she kept saying over and over, like 30 times, "Do not eat a dump bear. Whatever you do not eat a dump bear."
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true.
Well, they're easy to bag, right?
I will feel the best thing that I've ever had off of a bear is the fat.
Yeah.
So I took I know. Louis like, what the fuck are you talking about, little boy?
Usually
So-
try, yeah.
Yeah, no. Anyway, so I took and the only reason I did it because I was with a Native American guy at the time. This Native guy was like, he's like, dude, he's like, all of my elders don't want any of the bear meat. They just want the fat. And I'm like,
yeah.
What? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, they take the fat, they render it down, and they keep it. Basically, turns into this like grease.
Yep.
Or also like think of like bacon fat.
Or
Yep.
cow.
So I took all my bear fat and cut it into like 1-inch cubes, put it in this massive slow cooker, and cooked it for I think it was about 9 hours until they were just these like little like chunks. And they basically turned the chunks were like pork rinds.
Yep.
That's what they turned into, but the rest of it was this pure bear fat. So I strained it all and put it into mason jars, and I still, to this day, I shot the bear 2 years ago, I still have jars of the purest white bacon, like cooking fat you've ever had in your life, and it is so goddamn delicious. I use it for, honestly, I even use it on my daughter has dry skin sometimes, I put it on her. Because the Native Americans use it on dry skin. They use it for leather care. They use it for gun care. They use it for everything. And I use it for like potatoes. I fry my eggs in it. I fry, everything. It is so cool to get that from a bear.
That's your next business right there. Gryba's bear fat spray.
There you go.
Right there. That's it. Bear fat spray. Because when that duck spray came out, as soon as I got my hands on that, I was like, it's insane that we've been using this forever, but now that you've put it in a spray bottle, everybody wants it. Like,
right. I know. So true. So true.
It's literally been sitting in our counter for forever. No one's thought anything of it. And now it's in a spray can. It's the hottest.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, I had duck tater tots the other day, and they were just amazing. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like it's been done.
I know. It's so good.
Yeah.
So another one of your cooks that I was looking through your Instagram earlier that I wanted to ask you about was the Sandhill Crane.
Oh, let's talk cranes.
So that's not a protein that I've had a lot, or that I've had, period. But I've heard about it. Like, I heard it's actually, it's not gamey like a goose, but it's more closely resembles like a steak.
Yeah, like, honestly, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I really didn't know much about it. And I grew up in Saskatchewan where we could hunt them here legally. But I grew up, my dad never was like, oh, let's hunt cranes. We hunted waterfowl, we hunted ducks and geese and all these things. But he's like, cranes, like, dude, no, we're not doing that. And when you look at a crane, they're pterodactyls.
Yeah.
They're little fucking prehistoric motherfuckers, and you're like, fuck that.
Right.
Like you like, I don't want to touch that motherfucker. There's no way that's gonna taste good. And like, we won't even take dogs. So like when we're hunting cranes, we won't even take dogs because those like tear dogs, like they're actually tear dogs. They're like fucking peck at you. They'll come at humans.
Yeah.
So like I won't even ring one in the neck. Like honestly, if there's a wounded one on the field, I'll bring my gun. I'm like fucking. I'm just gonna hold you, motherfucker. Like anyway, so they're terrifying looking. I always thought they were disgusting. But God damn it, you have them, and they're honestly the ribeye of the sky.
That's awesome.
It is crazy.
Really?
It is unbelievable. And I mean, I'm a hardcore waterfowl guy. Like I love hunting ducks and geese. And I'm after this year, the last couple of years, I'm like, you know what? I just kind of want to hunt cranes because they're that delicious.
Done.
Like their breasts are so good, and you just marinate them just in a whatever marinade you want. Like you could be a Thai chili or some sort of Asian marinade, and I just cook them over fire and then slice them like thin.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I can't even. Like, oh God, I'm getting like this food boner right now. I'm like, holy
That's awesome. That's all I needed to hear right there.
Yeah, it is such a unique protein because it has a fat content in it that they're so good and so juicy and tender and not gamey.
Still has that deep red color too that a steak has coming from waterfowl.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a really cool, unique protein, and the reason why I find it so unique is that they're coming from a goddamn pterodactyl. These are prehistoric fuckers.
It's not normal to eat those, really.
Yeah, it's so dude,
we've got a tiny little trout pond that we hit in the summer, and those pricks, when they show up, you're like, get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, and like they're scooping fish you couldn't catch all day long. You've been there all day, and these birds are nabbing them out of the water, and that's it.
But they're gross. They got those big fucking legs. Their legs are like this goddamn long, those beaks, and they're just like, dude. I remember when I was young, my dad shot one, and he's like, oh, like don't let the dog on it, but the dog went off on it, and he's like, and the dog like just looked at it, he's like, fuck, I'm not grabbing that stupid thing. Like, you kidding me? And I'm like pissed at my dad, and I'm like, dude, really? Now that I've had it, I'm like, dude, this is what we should have been eating this the whole time. fuck goose and duck. I'm like, this is the best. Like, we should be eating this shit. So
that's awesome. I love to hear shit like that. That's to be honest with you, my favorite game has to be Caribou.
Ooh, I love Caribou too.
See, exactly.
I love Caribou. And so Caribou is a cool one because I learned this from a native guy up in the Yukon. Basically told me that Caribou uses it has the highest iron content of any wild meat. So if you were to eat it as a white dude or someone who's like down not eating it all the time, you can get iron poisoning from it.
Oh, that much, eh? Wow.
Oh yeah. So the only reason that the people who eat it all the time up in the north can sustain it because they've been grown up eating it. But like if you and I were to eat it every day for a month, we'd get iron poisoning.
Same thing with polar bear liver. I don't know why I know that, but that's one of the other ones, like iron dense.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Don't know why.
I've had my eye on a polar bear for quite a while. That's
it's the truth.
That's one of my bag hunts right there. That's I don't care.
Louis there during all of Mel's drunken delusional ideas of, hey, I want to cook a whole gator. Hey, I want to build an iron floss that can hold a polar bear.
Most of the time, it becomes reality. That's the scary thing about it.
Right. In the old house in Mill Woods, we were sitting there one day talking about how cool it would be if we put a bar in where the wall was that separated the kitchen from the living room.
Yeah.
And 20 minutes later, I walked in the house with a Sawzall and just started cutting it out. No joke. Like the next day when we sobered up, we finished it in and framed it and whatever. But it was the best move we ever did, and no one ever would have done that if it weren't for me and the Sawzall. So,
it was pretty awesome after
we
that.
just like that. I'm like, well, it's done now. We got to do it. That's yeah.
Pot committed.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've done a lot of that fun stuff.
Oh, that's good shit.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. That's so you've got what, one girl? How many kids you got?
One baby girl. Yeah.
There you go. Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah.
One, she's good. So yeah, everything's good here.
Right on.
She's got quite the little personality on her.
Yeah.
How old is she, too?
She's 2 years old. Yeah, just over 2.
Nice.
So yeah, I went from being a tough guy to an absolute pussy.
Yeah.
And not gonna lie, I can dial in a real tight French braid.
Ooh.
That's where I'm at, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to punch people in the face, and now I can do a French braid, so it's good.
Yeah. That's
It comes full circle.
yeah. 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 I got one that's 6 and one that's 10 months. So
There you go.
hands full all the time. That's
all
it.
the time.
Today we started building a big Lego set, the AT-AT Walker, right? 10 minutes later, she's sleeping on the couch. I'm like, there goes the next 6 hours of my life.
Yeah.
She's like, wake me up when it's done, okay? I'm like, that's not what this was about. But okay.
She just wants to play with it. She doesn't want to build it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, too funny.
Yeah,
that's good.
They're sweethearts, man. I love it.
Louis, what are you drinking there?
Scotch, Glenfiddich, 14-year.
Ooh, there you go.
Ooh.
Get after it, Seth.
Wow.
Have you got into the Japanese whiskey yet?
There we go.
I feel Japanese whiskey. I feel like that's kind of my Scotch. I'm not going to drink Scotch. Not going to Scotch. It's going to be Japanese whiskey.
Really?
So like the Suntory and stuff like that?
Yeah, they got a million times now.
Oh.
A million different times now, but Suntory's good. Toki, there's a bunch of different kinds that are good. I think I'm going to drink more. I'm going to drink more Japanese whiskey when I'm in my Scotch mood. But then like bourbon, I'm not gonna fuck my bourbon. Like that's sacred shit. But
So what's your favorite bourbon? What's your go-to?
ooh, we talking like go to like everyday bourbon?
Sure. What's your everyday drinker then? We'll start there.
Honestly, like my everyday, I'm gonna do like Elijah Craig.
Okay.
Because that's just a everydayer.
Yep. It's available. It's a nice price.
Yeah,
point.
we're up in Canada. Obviously, we don't have the goddamn stock you guys have down there. That's one of my favorites for sure. Trying to think of like high end stuff. I feel like I fucking drink the high end stuff when I forget about it.
I should send you the liquor store. So my buddy Duke, he's in Saskatoon.
Okay.
He's the butcher from the Costco that was helping me try and track down your pork belly. Yeah. So he's got his fingers into everything. But so you guys have the same problem we do in Edmonton. All of your snowbirds have either stayed down in the States or they're up here and they're miserable, right? So there's a ton more bourbon available that never is available.
Right.
Because they're not buying the cases when they come in. So out of nowhere, the Wine and Beyond at Southgate right here, they're like, yeah, we have a surplus of Blanton's Gold. And I was like, what did you just say? I'll be there in 2 minutes with, like, sorry, I'm not paying the mortgage this month. I'm buying bourbon instead. Like, done deal. And the wife's like, what the hell is wrong with, like, who's going to drink? I'm like, shh, just stop it. Yeah, that's. Yeah, no, and that was their explanation, is that the judges and commissioners and whatever that would have entire cases spoken for, well, they're not picking them up. So now they're going up on the shelf where they've never hit the shelf before.
Right. Oh,
so it's crazy. Like I've really stocked up this year because no one's here to buy it.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, it's been pretty good for the bourbon collection. Not so good for the liver. That's
Shut up, liver.
okay, let's keep going here. Let's see, and I'm a sucker for like a maple syrup in my old fashioned, and people go ballistic. They're like, "You're putting Blanton's in an old fashioned with maple syrup." I'm like, "You're not drinking it. I am. So just don't worry about how it gets to my liver. It's going to my liver. That's it."
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's good shit, boys.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome, man. So, do you have any prospects? Anything on the go for 2021?
In terms of what?
Anything you want to pump? Anything you got a podcast? I heard something about a podcast.
No, I don't have a podcast going on. No, sorry, you must have misheard yet. I tried to do a podcast. Actually, I shouldn't say tried to. I was thinking about doing one, but like I said, I got this new business venture going on, so I don't want to like put too many irons in the fire. Man, sticking around with Grilling with Gryba. My Instagram, always fucking around, as you've seen. Yeah, just kind of kicking around for 2021 here, hoping it's a hell of a lot better than 2020 because that motherfucker sucked.
Yeah, it's been a tombstone for all of us. Like, we always get together in Atlanta. We got that thing going. That was all canceled. I got the tap in to go to the World Food Championships this year in Texas, and that was shut down. Like, everyone's got a gripe about 2020. It is what it is.
Freaking thing sucks.
Yes.
So, I know. It's a shitty one. But anyway, hey, the way I see 2020 is it's going to give everybody probably a good dose of perspective.
Yeah.
Going forward. You know what? Because you know what? 2020 sucked, but it didn't break us for the rest.
That's a good point.
2021, moving forward, moving forward in the next few years, you know what? We're going to be all right. We're more resilient than we probably think we are. That 2020 gave us a real fucking shot in the mouth, but you know what? We're tough motherfuckers, so we can get through this.
I kind of think of it as a reset button. We're able to kind of hit the reset on some things. Maybe hopefully reconnect with family, our immediate family a little bit more, and move forward with that, and kind of appreciate some things more, appreciate our get-togethers more, and just kind of live life a little bit harder without being reckless, maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
But I was thinking the exact opposite. I was thinking now in 2021, when we all get together in the States, I won't be the only asshole that's drunk not wearing underwear. Everyone's going to be like Thunder Boy. That's it.
Boys, I got a Speedo for Christmas. I'm telling you, go invite me to any goddamn barbecue thing down in the States. I'll come on my Speedo. I don't know, motherfucker. We'll get this shit done.
Man, we were in the Stone Mountain Resort in Atlanta, Georgia, doing Eggtoberfest, right?
Yeah.
And 2:00 in the morning, Team Mexico was still up. I'm drinking tequila with them, and I'm crip walking to God knows. I think they were playing me Beastie Boys. I'm crip walking across the top of the wall, and it was just. And they're like, "Who is this? He's a Canadian, man. Don't worry about it."
He's a Canuck. They're fine, dude. He's have a good time. We're cool.
Let him go. Oh, it was so awesome, man. It was.
Yeah.
I miss it so much. Like, I can't wait to get down there again and just full sender everywhere.
I know. Yeah, dude, that's exactly right. Give it a full goddamn send.
That's it. Everything you do, just grab it with both horns and just go.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. So good, boys.
Beautiful, man. Well, thank you very much for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. This was
thanks for having me, guys. I've been wanting to do this for a while, so this has been awesome.
Yeah.
This is wicked. And all I ask of you is to throw me a fire in the hole sometime.
You know what? I'm gonna give you a fire in a goddamn hole.
That's it. Do it in the Speedo. That's it. Up the game up. That's it.
Now we're going. I'll get down in the Speedo. You get a fire in the goddamn hole with a couple balls. Here we go.
Yeah. That's my thing all the time. They're like, "Do you cook bacon naked?" I'm like, "I dance with a flamethrower naked." You don't want to know what I do.
It's sad because I can vouch for all of this.
I believe it.
That's it. Yeah, haven't had a good garbage fire in a while. That's it.
That's true, man. It's in spring.
I'm sitting here thinking, gosh, I hope it's not true. And poor Louis over here. Yeah.
No, it's all true, man.
Yeah, that's it. I love it.
Awesome.
So is there a new season of Grilling with Gryba coming out?
Yeah, Grilling with Gryba is coming out here. We're doing. Yeah, I just finished. I basically finished. Season 3. So it's getting edited up, and probably second quarter 2021. It'll be coming out. It'll be on TV.
Amazon Prime in the States.
Should be on Amazon Prime again. Yeah, and then we're gonna be rocking and rolling.
Awesome, man.
I can't wait to catch that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is the moose going to be part of that?
Yeah, the wife shot a moose. Fuck, she dropped it too. It was awesome.
Yeah.
She dropped that son of a bitch right in the goddamn tracks. It was so cool. so I got the moose, my mule deer. I got a fishing one coming up too, and frick, man, we're good. We're good to go. So we got a lot of good shit going on.
Right on, man. Well, we're going to be keeping tuned for sure. Can't wait to see you, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming, man. Have a good one.
Awesome. Oh,
Beauty.
I gotta readjust.
So we got a couple minutes. You guys want to hang out? Can you two chat for a minute?
You got to pee again? You're not going to piss in the bottle while we're
not
talking?
going to piss in the. I'm going to go now. Did you see they called me out on the barbecue chat?
Did
Who did?
Straight, yeah. He's like, and Mel, he doesn't get the show must go on. He's like, I'm like, yeah, that's right. The wife overheard it. She's like, delete that episode whenever you can.
Oh, that's what she was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sitting here talking to him, and all of a sudden he's like looking down and looking around. And it's like, takes a while. Like, wait a minute.
Why does it sound like the tap's running?
And of course I saw it, so I'm not going to, I have to call him out on it. So, well, Mel's not here. Why don't you fill us in on a little drunken Mel story?
Oh, man. You can't put me on the spot like that. Oh, jeez.
There's got to be something he's lit on fire.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick. You got to catch me in the moment with one of those. Otherwise, the list is too long.
It's just like having a book, and you're like, well, where do you start in the book? You know?
Exactly, man. Are we going back 10 years? Are we going back last week? Because things still burned last week, like 10 years ago. So,
yeah, and he's one of those guys where people will come up to me and they'll be like, "Is it like a persona that he's doing?" Or I'm like,
no, it's real.
Got a piece of Chex Mix.
Oh, love it.
Woo! Ooh. So Mel, Louis was just telling us about that one time that you two got together, and there was like a bucket of ice, a stuffed buffalo, and an animal.
Was that the time I got tasered? I don't remember.
Baby.
That's fantastic. We've had many a time, Louis and I. He's been through the thick and thin of it for sure. So it's pretty cool. I can't wait until, because he's always doing the NHL, right? So he can never leave to come on these things. But if I had him with me at Oktoberfest shooting, right? Like, it would be such a blast.
Yeah, it would be a blast.
To get it covered, to get it done digitally, everything's like in the books. And he's one of us. He's 100%. He's one of us. So it would be huge for the channel, huge for everything else, right? I can't wait. Can't wait.
So,
till that
why
lines
don't you tell us a little bit more about what you do? What do you? Mel said you're down there at the Junior Nationals, but what are you doing there?
I work in production, so basically work with cutting all the cameras and graphics and all that stuff to put the show together.
Okay. So you're kind of directing of what cameras live and what cameras, what
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
So.
Mel's typing, which is scary.
Sorry.
Oh.
with the comments. You know how it is. Yeah, no, it's yeah. So Louis does a bunch of he's always locked in though. That's the shitty part, is that he's always working like crazy.
It's odd hours, right?
Right.
Evenings, weekends, right?
And he's got to be there. He's got to be on call. So like where I'll disappear for a week at a time, he'll have other engagements that he has to be there for.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the heyday when he was doing like the Drillers, the Eskimos, the Oilers,
Everything.
like everything that was happening in our city, Louis was right at the heart of. So I'd go get drunk at an Eskimos game, and Louis like,
Oh yeah.
come up to the box and say, and then it's like, then you're at the Oilers, and I'm down there in the Gold Bar, right? And Louis like, swing by the shop and say, like everywhere I went, it was really cool. But at the same time, he wasn't out there with us.
That's
he's always
true.
working.
I
So,
missed it all. I watched you guys get hammered.
yeah. Yeah, that was the part. I was going to get into it with Gryba about that, but I thought maybe I'd just let it go. Like a true Oilers fan, right? Second period, we should probably go to the strippers. That's,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's pretty embarrassing, Chris. But when you go to an Oilers game, because they're just the fans are so hard on the players,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see 3/4 of the arena just get up and leave.
Yep.
You don't even know if they're going to win or not. But they're just like,
Yep.
and it's insane
Second
because it's
period, throw your jersey on the ice, man. We're down 1 goal.
Oh, geez.
and the crazy part is it's sold out.
Every night.
That's the thing. It's sold out every night. It's not like these aren't wanted tickets. People paid good money to get there,
Mm-hmm.
but they'd still rather go to the bar across the street halfway through the game for no reason. Like,
You can get liquor faster at the bar. The arena's pretty slow.
Yeah, that's actually part of the thing. Like,
I know it is.
It's like it is here. It's like 4 times as much in the arena than it is.
Absolutely as well.
Yeah, we do that too. That's when I'm walking with my 4 doubles and I'm doing this, right? And everyone's like, oh shit. Look at the big man on campus here. I'm like, no, I'm just an alcoholic. Excuse me. That's
Don't want to stand in line.
Yeah, yeah, that's Yeah, how did it go today with the game? Was it like somber as shit, or was there like nobody cheers? What happens?
Well, we've put crowd noise in.
Okay.
So electronic crowd noise, so it kind of creates that atmosphere for the player in the bowl.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And that's one of the things you feel bad about the players for, is just kind of missing out on the experience of everything.
Yeah.
And being in Green Bay, Wisconsin, one thing that you don't realize is with not having fans at Packer games is, Green Bay is the smallest market in professional sports as far as, our city's got 100,000 people in it, and it's got a professional sports team. So, every week that the Packers have a home game, our population in our cities doubles or triples. So you get all these people coming in. So they said something along the lines of the city itself, so not the team, but just the surrounding businesses and the people that, sell parking in their front lawn. It's like losing like $10 million or $20 million, some ridiculous number with that. And I think about, cities like Edmonton now not being able to physically host the fans for the Junior Nationals, how much that effect has on the surrounding economy too.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, it's been a crazy time here for sure, because the entire city banked on Rogers Place.
Right.
Yeah.
The entire city was built around that arena going up and everything happening in it. It's a lot like Vancouver. Vancouver capitalized on a Stanley Cup playoff as well as their Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
When they had those go back to back, the downtown of Vancouver got like $1 gazillion. And then after that, there was nothing. Way to go, Sedines. Don't care. Come at. That's it. I don't care. Come at me. Canucks suck. Oilers for life. That's it. But yeah, it's crazy, because like the downtown of Vancouver was literally built on hockey, and Winter Olympics,
Uh-huh.
which was nuts. It was like you couldn't ask for like 2 golden geese in a row, right? It was perfect. It was, and good for them. And we were kind of banking on that here. World Juniors was supposed to be this. Now we have the World Juniors with 0 payoff.
Yep.
Right.
And
I worked World Juniors in 2012 when they were in Edmonton, and it was insane. The amount of people traveling here to watch these games was unbelievable, and they're kids, right? They're juniors. Like,
oh, well, this would be riot. You know,
Parties
this would be
everywhere.
riot season.
oh,
This
yeah,
would be
man.
riot season,
There's
right?
actually people showing up outside the arena,
Yeah.
just to like make cars honk and shit. I don't know, but they're there.
Chris, I missed out on stitches to be on this show. If there was a game tonight, I would not be on this show, and if I was, you'd see like blurred video and a lot of noise, and that's all you'd get. And then I'd probably be carried out, and then at the strippers. So, and Louis gonna like literally vouch right there. That's exactly how the story would go. It's no the juniors, man. Like to have them, like Louis said, 2012.
Right.
We've been waiting forever, and for us to not be able to go even to Boston Pizza, to our pub, to our local watering hole to watch it. When the juniors were on in that other country last time, what was it, like 4 a.m. the game started?
Yeah, exactly. It was in Russia last, I think.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Our bars were allowed to serve liquor at 4 a.m. for the people there, just because our team was playing. As long as Team Canada was playing, the bars were allowed to be open and serving liquor. And everyone behaved. Everything was, but everyone got like dirty loaded, and it was awesome. Like that, what we had a projector, and I had the smokers going. Like I was smoking shit the night
That
before,
was fun.
right through, didn't sleep
all night long, man.
all night long, and the projector, like the big, like it was awesome, and the whole neighborhood came over, eating chicken wings, watching the game. Like it was crazy.
Half your shop.
Yeah, it was so awesome.
Well, those types of things that we better get back to doing here in 2021.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like I miss so much of this stuff. You can't cheer on your team. You can't nothing. Like this holiday has been ruthless for us.
Oh man.
So here is my little bit of truth, right? Lisa and I and the kids, we behaved this Christmas. I'm pretty sure the neighbors thought we'd screw around with the laws, but we didn't.
Right.
We didn't have anybody here. We kept it completely legal. We went on Facebook the next day, Christmas Day. Everybody we knew had 10 people at their house.
Oh, Jesus.
So we were the only people, the ones that for sure would have fucked around, we didn't. And everyone else that you never even thought would have played games, they all played games.
Interesting.
And we were like, so you know what I mean? Like, and we had a loss in the family, the whole 9 yards. It was just what a crazy time to not have family. And we stood our ground.
Right.
And everyone else didn't. And we were like, what the? Oh, just
kind
rough,
of feel
man.
like you should have.
Oh, that's the thing, right? So
Right.
then we're like, well, New Year's, what are we going to do now? Like, that's...
Got a couple days, man.
we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. That's... The neighbors are waiting for me to do it anyway. So
They are.
they got the phone out there. So up here, Chris, it's literally, if you're the homeowner, it's $1,000 a person fine.
Ooh.
And then each person gets fined $1,000 on top of that.
Wow.
So if you have 15 people, the homeowner gets a $15,000 fine, and then as everyone's walking out, they each get $1,000. That's how crazy they are up here.
There was a case, 12 people, like last week or 2 weeks ago, and they got fined $12,000. Like that's insane.
Yep. Oh, there was a guy in Calgary got $32,000.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah, because they were in his backyard and in his garage.
Oh, man.
And they shut his property down, $32,000 in Calgary.
That is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, man. So this was a good show. I was actually quite happy with how this went. I love Grybes. He's a sweetheart.
Great dude.
That's so Duke just chimed in. Everybody knows Dookie, right? I'm thinking, who the hell would live in Butthole? He was born there. Well, that makes sense then. That's why he moved, NHL superstar moves back to Saskatchewan. I get it. That's
Yeah, man. I get it too. He just said he built his house and stuff there. Like, that's just, he's got them old farm roots, man.
How cool
Yeah,
is
and
it
you
that he started out part of his hockey career in Green Bay?
Right?
Yeah.
So
there you go.
awesome.
I mean, I wasn't in Green Bay at the time, but it's still pretty cool that. So we have this like independent league juniors team, the Green Bay Gamblers, where people will come when they're high school age and come play there, and they'll be they stay with families that like sponsor them. So we'll just
billet families.
Yeah, one of my there's a CRNA that I work with. He's sponsored a couple of the players before in the past. They had them stay with him for a few months while they're doing it. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty neat thing that they got going on. They said they've had a few of the guys that actually have made it to the show after being there. So that's pretty cool.
It's crazy that both of our stars we've had back to back out of Green Bay.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's funny. Oh, it was really nice having Lane on here.
I would have liked to be on for that one.
I see. So Louis knows a fuck ton about your guys' football.
Yeah,
Louis is a huge it sucks. I wish that we were sitting here in a couch and Louis was right here, and we were doing this in a more podcasty way.
That's coming after COVID, man.
It's coming. Like, it's because he's my other half. That's because I just don't have time for a lot of things, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a weird mix. He finishes my sentences a lot of the time.
It do that. It can keep you kind of on track.
That's it. Yeah. No, and that's like he keeps me in check when we're out doing things.
Yeah,
doing
that's true.
And that's important.
I'll get just as drunk, but
but I can keep them in line.
I make sure we get home, man.
That's the trick. I'll come up and talk to Louis, and I might be thinking I'm moving to Phoenix, and he'll be like, "No, you're not."
No, not.
And
tonight.
We're gonna get in the cab now. We're not going to Phoenix today. We're going to the cab now. That's it's always a good time.
Yeah, Lane had a blast being on too. He would definitely come back again.
Yeah, man. That was a good show. That was a really good show.
So how often is this? My birthday was on Saturday, and my wife does not do a great job of surprising me because I'm pretty tough to shop for because if I want something, I get it. And she remembered me saying that I don't have any jerseys from active Packer players. I got a Clay Matthews jersey, I got a Favre jersey, I got a Ray Nitschke jersey, all these old guys, and then like Greg Jennings, who's not on the team. She gets me a freaking Lane Taylor jersey. I'm like, how awesome is that?
Nice.
Yeah.
I took a picture of Lane. She goes, well, your wife's got good taste.
That's awesome. He's a sweetheart, man. Yeah. I really like him. I really like him. Yeah.
Yeah, really down to earth guy. It sucks because we were planning on doing a lot of grilling this year in this season leading up to the season because he's in town for much of it. He's got a house down in Texas, but he's up here for a bunch of it normally.
Right.
But obviously, I'm not going to be the guy who is responsible for any type of outbreak with the Packers or anything with that. So we haven't actually cooked together. I don't think we cooked together in 2020. I think we did a couple in November and December of 2019. No, I don't think we got together this year, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
No.
Yep.
But
So you didn't see it obviously, but I was on Cooks and Cars. Yeah. Yeah. He let me know 2 weeks ahead of time, but there was no like promo or anything until
after the day after.
Yeah, after the show. But one thing that he said was neat. So Louis, Big Green Egg is doing a podcast about cooks and cars.
Okay.
So you were on with who? Like Andretti or somebody you were on with?
Me?
Yeah.
No, it was Ricky. Was it Ricky Taylor or Jordan Taylor was on after me?
Okay. Yeah.
Was one of them because I think they're brothers, Ricky and Jordan Taylor. One who I think I'm not a huge race car guy, which is sad because my hometown has a track that had some of the guys that, like Matt Kenseth, he was a NASCAR guy who did pretty well. He kind of started out in my hometown too. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not a big NASCAR guy, but I don't remember his name. I don't think the guy was a NASCAR driver either. I want to say he was IndyCar or something like that. But it was a really cool show. So I was on with the guy from the Merlin Auto Group, who's kind of the co-host of the podcast, and Rob. And yeah, we just talked about some of the Christmas meal type things that we'd be cooking. And afterwards, they were going to talk about how to winterize your car. You know, like up here, we're like, it's
Awesome.
always winterized. Down in Atlanta, you know,
Yeah.
My buddy Ty went down there for a playoff game with the Packers once, and they got like 1.5 inches of snow the day before. He's like, it was a fucking mess because all they did was just dump sand everywhere. Just all was a mess. People were crashing. You know, we're equipped with, you know, salt trucks and brine trucks and all this other stuff where they're just dumping sand. So it just turns into a mess, and the city shuts down for 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I was on Cooks and Cars, and I was talking to the buddy from Merlin Auto Group, right?
Uh-huh.
And he's asking me, well, what's your favorite car? And I told him, like, a 67 Mustang, 51 Merc lead sled. And they were like, yeah, we deal with, like, Bugattis and stuff. We're not, like, right away you could see his face just kind of change. He's like, well, what do you drive? I'm like, an 03 H2 supercharged. He's like, like right away, he's like, what are we? But then he said something real cool. Apparently, they came out with, like, an electric Hummer.
Yeah.
So now the value of my Hummer, now the value of my Hummer is skyrocketing because no one wants the electric. They want the old school
Who
gas
would drive a Hummer that's electric? It
I
doesn't
bet
even
you
make
it's a
sense.
I bet you it's a beast.
I'm sure it is, but it just doesn't seem right, man.
But that's he's like, yeah, hold on to that thing. And I was like, literally, I've been debating. I've been on the fence now for a while, trading it in and getting a new, like, big SUV, right? And as soon as he said that, I'm like, that's it. It's never going anywhere. It's mine now. We're not doing anything with it. I'm going to put a lift kit in it and clean it up a bit. And but crazy. Like, I never even thought about it, but there you go. Like, they've re-released it in an electric.
That's crazy.
Just nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I flocked to it was because it's like a monster truck. Like, it is, actually.
Oh, exactly. Well,
when
especially with the
it,
mutters you got on it.
Well, yeah, it's jacked up. It's jacked up with mutters, a bush bar on the front, a bush bar on the back, and I got a supercharger in it. So it's just like, it's just a monster. But it's so much fun to drive because people are looking at you like you're the city bus. They're waiting for the bus. And then it's not the bus, it's just you rolling down the street, like idling. Right? It's so good. It's so good. Like, and it suits me. Chris, you know me. Like, it suits me. When you see me sitting in it, you're like, yeah, okay, that makes
that's no. You know, it's gotta be the murdered all black and
no, it is. It's black on black with black. And when I feel like a young punk, I throw the subs back in it, hook them up, right? And then the Limp Bizkit comes on, and you're like, yeah, this is like it is exactly what it's supposed to be. And that's one thing I don't pretend. I don't pretend. It is what it is. Like, right through, right from the leopard print on the couch to the like, it is what it is. It's all. douchebag, full sender. That's it. Yeah, I love it. So I was super happy to do that podcast just to hear that. It was a fun podcast, and I think it's got a ton of potential. They're gonna do big things with it for sure. But we definitely need to work on our game with this.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I like where this is going.
No, it is like we need to get some toys. We need to tighten up our game with it. We need to bring the production level up on this because we have it. We know we have it.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to fine tune it now because that show was like the production value of it was fantastic. So we have the soul. We need to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. I was
fun. Lot of fun talking with Gryba too. I mean, I think he might be someone we might, if we are able to take that next step, that he'd come back on. I bet. And
oh yeah.
We can maybe talk to him once season 3 of Grilling with Gryba comes out.
Well,
we do a teaser and promote that.
I'm very excited to see what 2021 is bringing to this.
Right.
Because there's a few names bouncing around, and I'm not saying anything yet, but our next year already looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So that I'm not too worried about what we're going to be doing after this. I'm grateful for Lane. I'm grateful for Gryba. I can't wait to see who's next. Like it's going to be.
Yeah, man.
This is really cool. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that this is actually turning into a thing. Like it's very neat.
Yeah.
Very neat.
And with that, I think we're ready to turn that page.
Heck yeah.
2020 and get to that 2021 and move forward. And we only got what? 46 hours?
3 days?
50 hours, Ryan? 50 and a half hours?
I hope I'm done that Lego set by then.
So, I had to do the same thing. I had the Harry Potter castle. We had 2 of the Harry Potter castles, which was like 60.
Oh, you're fucked. Buddy, you're fucked.
Oh, I'm
You're so fucked.
I'm done. It's done. I got it already.
What? You built it already? Oh, okay. You paid some college kid to come over and build it.
Oh. We have to hide it down here so my 2-year-old doesn't get to it. Because he'll just take it all apart. But here's half.
You built it.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean, this thing is much better than the shit that we had when we were kids.
How long did that take you?
Lego?
Yeah.
That's Lego?
That's the Lego Harry Potter castle. How long did that take you, Chris?
Total, it probably took us about 6 hours.
See?
That's half of it, and then we got the other half.
I've been on that AT-AT walker. Today, I've been on that AT-AT walker for 4 hours. I'm on bag number 4. And I was like, fuck you, fuck this.
We had 11 bags total.
Oh, I'm on bag number 5 now. Emily's sleeping on the couch. Lisa left the house. I'm like, all of you can.
Little tree. Yeah, I mean, but the best thing is now we put it together. It's on a little tray. They can take it out, and they'll spend a few hours down here playing with it. And I'm like,
yeah,
silence for me and my wife. Because I told them, so your little brother doesn't get a hold of it. It's got to stay in the basement. So they'll come down here and they'll just play with it.
Yep.
And we get quiet.
Oh yeah, I love it. I absolutely love that. That's
much cooler shit than we had when we were kids.
No shit, man. We had rainbow blocks with like eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a couple sets of shitty tractor tires that went nowhere.
Right?
It was up to you to build a rainbow tractor out of bullshit, and that was it. Like, yeah. Awesome, man. Well, thank you very much. This has been a great night.
Great meeting you too. Thanks for
coming. Likewise. Sorry, first time a bit shy, but
that's all right.
I'm usually behind the camera, not in front of it. So,
Louis, thank you very much for coming on, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. I had fun.
This is so cool. So cool. It's been a great time.
Yeah, great night. Everyone be safe. Have a safe New Year's. Make good decisions.
Likewise. Happy New Year. You know what? Don't listen to him. Make all the decisions with whatever feels right. That's it. It's 2020. Go out with a bang. Do whatever feels good to you. That's it. I don't even care. I'm gonna. Oh, buddy, I don't even know what I'm doing on New Year's Eve, but it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really bad.
You'll be making him pass out.
Love it.
Yeah, 11 o'clock, building Lego.
Yeah.
That's it.
When you post a picture, you just got Legos on your chest.
Yeah, that's done. Bottle of bourbon in the back. Fantastic, boys. Love you. Thank you very much. This has been awesome, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Have a
gentlemen.
good night.
Talk to you all
Good
soon.
night.
All right, bye-bye.